Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
Patriots,
Talking ball.
like everybody else
Talking
is.
ball, Fred.
Talk of the town.
I don't like it.
You don't like the attention now?
No, I just don't like that all these people are telling me that Drake May needed to sit for 3 years and now he's the MVP of the league.
Yeah. Talk of the town.
Stay on that side, Dan Orlovsky.
Wow.
I'll name names. You know, his footwork wasn't good, Bill.
Well, where's
all
Merrill
of a
Hodge?
sudden- oh yeah, where's that one?
Coach
Yeah.
Killer.
Yeah, Coach Killer, MVP of the league. Yeah, we can keep going. Yeah.
So, Will, if you're listening, or someone from your family, don't worry about it. Be pissed.
Thank you, Fred, for those kind words.
But I didn't expect it to look like this. I thought they could win games.
They're ending the
13-10 and
games in
17.
victory formation.
Yeah.
They're ending the games in the third quarter. If we make this a 9-point game,
It's over.
it's over. Like, they're not scoring 17 against us.
Bust. They're not.
Is Josh a tight pants guy? Is he qualified?
One of the OGs.
He's an OG.
You think he's an OG tight pants guy? How's Barth doing? I always like to do a wellness check on him.
This was one of the rare games that we didn't talk a ton after the game.
Did you have a date?
Yeah, right.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Wednesday here at Gillette Stadium, and it's Evan, Paul, Deuce, Fred, Alex in the booth, and we'll get right to the news that broke last night. I mean, not huge, Luka Doncic type news, but there were some trades. This is a week before the trade deadline, a couple trades. So who wants to impart on what the details were?
Yeah, Keon White was the first one to drop
Yep.
to San Francisco, along with a 7th-round pick, and they got a 6th-round pick back. And then Kyle Duggar to Pittsburgh. I think he just got a 6th-round pick.
No, same thing.
Same
They're
thing.
both,
Same
they're
thing.
both
So the 2-7 and 6-7.
Now I heard if Keon actually plays a certain amount, they don't have to give the 7th or
That's
something
accurate.
like that.
That's accurate. 7 games with San Francisco. They would not. I mean, not that it's
Not
really,
that it matters.
Yeah, but
So let's talk about this because two players who at the beginning of the year you would say, okay, they'll be part of the team this year. Maybe less so Duggar, but we had a lot.
it depended on when you thought that.
Yeah.
I would have thought that the whole offseason, but not the last 2 weeks of training camp.
Right. But
once it happens,
certainly
yeah.
with Keon White, we had hopes
Yeah.
that he'd find a role.
Yeah, well, I think Evan nailed it yesterday. I brought up saying, who would trade for Keon White? What's the need? And in reading some of the analysis of San Francisco, they love undersized interior pass rushers, and that's what he is. I think that's what they need. So they'll probably give him a chance to do that. And, sub-package role. It won't be an every down role, but I think the writing has been on the wall with both these guys since the summer. And you could tell that they were trying with Keon White to figure out if he could possibly find a role, not so much as a defensive end, but, the sizes are just it's pretty big disparity with Keon White weighing 285 between what you see with Chason and Harold Landry. And I mean, I even look at Harold Landry really as the prototype for this system of, ideally what I think they'd like. I think maybe Chason's a little lighter than maybe they'd like. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I think that makes sense for San Francisco to grab that kind of guy. There was some hype on Keon White a couple summers ago, and had a good
take
start.
your victory lap, Deuce. You nailed this one.
I never warmed up to him in terms of what does he do? Like, how can he?
Well, that was the thing coming out of college. Is like, what really would his role be in the pros? Because even in college, he wasn't a big sack guy. He wasn't known as a big run stuffer.
Yeah.
But he had these traits.
Classic tweener.
Yeah,
Right,
and athletic.
right.
I mean, he was a former tight end.
Right.
But to me, he was just always so stiff. Always so stiff, and I think that hurts you on the edge. You don't get as much bend. You don't get as much drop and dip under guys. It's more just he's going to try to run through an MFer's face, and if that that's his style,
That's
right?
coming
Like
out of
that's
his
just what he
mouth.
wants to do. He wants to. I mean, he's got a Hall of Fame face, and he wants to run right through somebody. So maybe he'll find some success with the 49ers. It's just you could tell that it wasn't going to quite click.
And I think the Duggar one was, I think it was role, but I think a lot of it was money too with Duggar.
Yeah,
You know,
they
he
rip up the
wasn't
last
good
2
enough
years of the
where,
contract.
okay, we'll spend that money.
Yeah, well, they ripped up the last 2 years of the contract, so they get out of paying him next year and in 2027. So
Right.
As Paula used to say, it's about the cash, not the cap in that situation. But now you have that money next offseason to give Kyle Duggar's $10 million to somebody else. And that does factor in Deuce. I think you nailed it on Keon White. We talked a little bit about this on Catch 22, like the archetype of the type of player that they want out on the edge is 6'2", 6'3", 250, 255. That is not Keon White. That's not his body type. That's not his build. So as we move forward here, that's the type of player they're looking for. They want bend. They want explosiveness off the ball. They want a little bit lighter.
Drop a little bit.
Yeah, like Landry,
time.
Chase on. Like that's their archetype. That's their mold at that position. So when you're looking for possible trade candidates now, when you're looking in the offseason at the draft, like that's the frame that they're looking for at edge rusher, and he just never fit. He never fit that type. Now I am a little disappointed. I thought Mike Vrabel and Terrell Williams might be able to work with him,
Right.
and develop some of his skills inside, and maybe make him a little bit more well-rounded and get more out of him. He was one of the few guys that I was looking forward to seeing. This good defensive line coaching staff. Like, could they develop him? And they couldn't. It just didn't stick.
Do you think part of also is that in the meantime, Keon White wasn't showing any patience? Like,
I mean, I feel like he was the guy who talked last year a little bit about frustrations, and I mean, he clearly wears his emotions on his face. Like, you can just tell when he's unhappy. But I know I don't want to kick anybody on the way. I think both those guys are kind of quiet, and there was, to me at least, an element of previous guys who had bigger roles in the past regime, and they aren't quite fitting on the field, and it's hard to make them fit off the field too, and make them feel part of it. And to take a guy like Kyle Duggar, who was a captain and a guy who got extended, and for all in, from last year, everything we saw, a guy that was going to be here and be part of the future for a long time. And you could see right out of the gate this summer that something's up. And what I thought was interesting too was just that Pittsburgh had already acquired Peppers. Like, Jabril Peppers kind of just playing special teams for them right now, but now they have Peppers and Duggar, two guys that played significant roles for this team in the past. So I think they've been trying to maybe move that guy for a while. Seems like everything you read in the tea leaves, or Adam Schefter saying Kyle Duggar's going to get moved. So, and it felt like a matter of time. But
Yeah, and the Steelers lost a guy too. Is it Elliott, Deshaun Elliott?
Yes.
To IR. So they're hurting on the back end. So it makes some sense for them. But I agree with Mike and Evan. It's just that based on what they wanted to do and how they want to play, they weren't great fits. I do think the money was a big factor for Duggar. I think he would have been perfectly suitable as a third safety if the price was more palatable. Obviously, they felt it wasn't, because he did have a role when you saw some health issues with Jalen Hawkins. New Orleans, the New Orleans game, right?
Started twice.
Yeah. So
New Orleans and Tennessee.
yeah, well, I mean, but regular playing, like he played in those games. Like early in the year, he was like starting and playing like one snap.
Oh yeah,
These
I don't
games
know
he
if
actually
he started
played, right?
Yeah,
The New Orleans game.
Well, he started, but he was.
Yeah, and he played,
Yeah.
and he was out there. So they went out and they signed a safety from Miami off the practice squad, John Saunders, Jr.
not to be confused with John Saunders Sr.
Correct.
from ESPN.
It is a crazy
R.I.P.
sort of. Duggar goes from one snap in Buffalo in Week 5 to 2 weeks in a row playing 100% of the snaps and being a full-time starter in New Orleans and Tennessee to traded.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm with Paul, like that there was a role for him as like the third safety in depth for Hawkins and Woodson. Now they're paying most of his salary this year anyways. So it's not a money thing in 25. It's a money thing in 26 and
Future,
27.
yeah.
Because he had 2 more years left on that extension for big money, and now those years come off the books and they don't have to pay him for those 2 seasons. So this was about getting out of the contract as much as it was anything else.
Good point, though, too, because I wondered if getting an opportunity to play a little bit, maybe that would have said, hey, he's closer than we think. We've got injury issues here. He's good insurance, but it doesn't seem like anything he did in the games was enough to make them think, let's keep him around.
So, do you think that this says anything about being buyers for the next week?
I hope so. I mean, we talked
I think
about
it
it.
does.
They signed Saunders Jr. They still have an open spot, but Mike Vrabel intimated that it looks like Terrell Jennings might get that spot. So it doesn't seem on paper at this particular moment that they have an open spot. But, based on what we said yesterday, I think you got to be, right? I mean, you
think there's an opportunity.
Me too. Especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, honestly, I think they need to add a running back. I feel like they're with signing 2 more practice squad running backs as well. That maybe they're not going to go into the veteran route. Maybe they are going to just kind of stick with Terrell Jennings and hope that Ramondre and Henderson can make it through the season. But defensively, I think there's an opportunity.
I'm going to hope for an edge rusher.
Edge rusher.
You guys,
that's where I
know.
start.
Yep. Yeah. I think that doing this a week early tells me that they're trying to do this to free up whatever they needed to free up to do something a week from now. So I don't know when exactly it will happen, but if they had traded Duggar and Keon White on the 4th, then it's kind of too late to then pivot to something else. So it seems to me like this was like a preemptive strike because they might have something brewing to make, an acquisition to buy, by the time the deadline rolls around. Otherwise, why do it a week early? Like, why not, they would have Duggar to play in the game on Sunday. And, it seems like it would.
That was also part of it. Like, it was pretty clear that they wanted to trade Keon White, and that had to at least been part of the reason why he was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Sunday. Now, Duggar was also a scratch, but he maybe got hurt in practice on Thursday. Maybe he wasn't able to go, but I wondered even that. Yeah, I agree, Fred. That's why I bring it up.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that something happened to him on Thursday, but whatever the something was that enough to keep him out of the game?
Right.
Or did they have these kinds of plans in mind?
I think it also just puts a period on the safety position and what we thought coming in, and maybe it's oversimplifying it, but I almost feel like the previous system wanted a bunch of strong safeties and they want a bunch of free safeties, and it might just be as simple as that. Saunders Jr., more in that mold, guy who can run, who can play free safety. But to reiterate the point I made yesterday, I just think that position is such a huge opportunity for the right player to really be all over the place. I mean, I was just looking at Jalen Hawkins' stats. He's only played like 6 games, but he's getting rushing the passer. He's getting hands-on balls. I mean, he's got, just production across the board, which, in a limited sample size, I don't know if he's going to continue to be that kind of player, but I just think the way they play these safeties, they have an opportunity to make plays at all levels of the field. And if you get a guy who's really smart, it's just a huge playmaking opportunity.
Yeah, their see-ball, get-ball defense at safety. He's a 7th-rated safety in PFF grade right now, Jalen Hawkins, which, for whatever it's
6
worth.
games.
Yeah, but, I mean, they've only played 8. Like, it's, I mean, I don't think he's a top 10 safety in the league. But the point being is that he has had production.
So then what's the point?
Yeah.
He's had production while he's
No,
playing.
I know, but, if we all know that he's not really ranked in the top 10 in terms of safeties, why are these PFF grades worth talking about?
Because I think PFF grades to me are pass fail. So if guys are above average in their grading, usually that means that those guys are having decent seasons. The guys that are in the red in their grading are the guys that you circle on Tuesday and say, where's Waldo, right? Like, we're going to put Milton Williams over this left guard because he stinks, right? Like that sort of thing. So I don't think Jalen Hawkins is the 7th-rated safety in the league or a top 10 safety in the NFL, but I think he's having a decent season. I think he's an average player at his position right now. Once they kind of figured out that he's not going to cover Brock Bowers and they kind of moved him away from covering tight ends one-on-one, I think he's been better. He was good in this pass game against Cleveland. So, I don't think that it's indicative that he's, it's, Kyle Hamilton and Jalen Hawkins. Like, no one's saying that.
I just feel like every time we bring up PFF, we have to explain the rating. There's always context to it that
I was just piggybacking off of Deuce because he was talking about his production. PFF grades off production. Yeah. They're grading, pass defense, interceptions, tackles, run stuffs. That's what inflates your grade. So if you're a guy like Deuce was saying about Hawkins that's logging those types of things at a decent clip, then you're going to have a good grade.
Yeah, I mean, 6 games, 2 interceptions, 2 passes defense. I don't know if that's the same, but a fumble recovery, a sack and a half, 28 solo tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits. I don't know if those are the sacks, but just I think it's more just to illustrate not the player,
I know,
but the
God, we
opportunity
can't
of,
do it.
of
I
what you're
know.
playing. And look, I mean, give him some credit. He's he's around the ball.
28
He's making
solos.
plays.
Does that mean you get picked on a lot
As a safety?
as a safety?
Does it feel like he has?
I don't know.
You,
I don't know. They don't. You said yesterday they stay away from Davis and Gonzo. They got to be throwing to somebody.
Yeah, they are, and I think with Hawkins, to me, the biggest part about Hawkins' game that impresses me is just his ability to play as like a roamer in a defense. When he's free to just kind of play over the top, or he's free to be in the run game, like attack the line of scrimmage. When he's asked to cover a guy one-on-one, he's not good at it. We can all say that. Every time they put him on a tight end one-on-one, last week they tried Marte Mapu on Harold Fannin. He played one snap, gave up 19-yard completion on third down, and never saw the field again. So they have an issue there with covering tight ends. But I think in general, Hawkins has been all right, and I think Woodson has flashes for a rookie.
Yeah, Woodson hasn't had the production those numbers. Like he hasn't had the interceptions or the sacks. So, but when you look at where they're lining up, it's pretty balanced. They both are back and forward and all over the place. So, I mean, the bigger point to me is just opportunity in this system to really what's the kid from Downs from Ohio State? I'm not saying they're going to make that pick, but
trade up to the top 5.
Though that kind of player in this system feels like it would be a home run kind of a hit that can affect everything. Whereas, we talk, Devin McCourty didn't make a lot of plays that, he's great free safety, but in that system, his job was kind of make sure everything's good, don't get beat over the top, instead of we're going to send you after the quarterback on this blitz, and then you're going to be dropping, all the different things that, could put him in the position to get those numbers,
and they play a lot of zone. So this defense, the old defense, they're playing so much man to man. Like in this defense, they're playing a lot of disguise zone in particular, where it's 1 to 2 high, 2 to 1, and so they keep on mixing it up on the back end. So having two guys like Woodson and Hawkins who are kind of interchangeable in the way they play the deep part of the field allows them to do a lot of the disguise zone coverage that they're running. I don't know how graded it's been, 28th in DVOA against the pass, but that's the system. And so that's the type of safety that they're looking for.
All right. Well, Wednesday is turn the page day. So we're going to turn the page to the Buccaneers. Oh, no, I mean the Falcons. Sorry.
Are you looking ahead, Fred?
Wow.
Ahead. It's just a joke. Just a joke.
No,
Disrespectful to the Falcons.
We all know the Falcons have a lot of talent on the roster, but they're hot and cold.
Yeah.
And it depends on
Halloween's the perfect time to play them.
Jekyll and
Because
Hyde,
they're the
right?
most trick or treat team that you have.
Right. So which costume are they going to be wearing this Sunday? If they're wearing the good costume, it could be a tough game for the Patriots.
Start with
that's what you have to assume.
Start with Penix in London. What's their status going to be today?
Sounds like it's trending upward.
Sounds like they're getting a lot of players back.
Yeah. So I welcome that. I want to see Penix. I want to see their best. I want to see Drake London, who I think is. I wasn't really he's not usually my kind of receiver. Those are kind of the ones but I think he's shown enough wiggle and athleticism, kind of like Tet, that you see how he can be a complementary piece. But they have some good pieces to challenge the Patriots in the passing game, I think. Especially with Penix, who, I've seen it in spurts of him throwing the ball down the field, but that's to me when we were watching him coming out of college was just, downfield
we could talk
accuracy,
about all the personnel
bombs away
stuff
and all that.
Mike's right. If Penix plays well, then it's going to make the personnel look like it is. It's better. He hasn't consistently been able to play well. He's shown flashes. He's not completely without talent, but he hasn't been consistent. He seems to me like just slow getting rid of the ball, kind of doesn't move great. I mean, he's had those knee injuries. I don't think he has a ton of mobility. No one's going to confuse him with Drake May on Sunday, buying time and moving around and picking up first downs, a lot of first downs with his legs, but he can throw.
Yeah.
And if he gets in a rhythm and he gets hot, and then you get Bijan Robinson rolling, it's an offense that can stress you. They haven't done it consistently, and you can just.
I mean, they're 28th in the league in scoring.
Absolutely, they're down the bottom and everything.
Yeah.
But even if you just look at them, it's like 34-24, and then they follow it up with 10 and 10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just no consistency with what they're doing offensively. The numbers, Evan just said them. They're right down there with Tennessee and Cleveland. I mean, they're only a couple of notches above those two teams that you just saw. Now, I would say
What's holding them back?
personnel-wise,
Scheme.
personnel-wise, this is a much better team than those teams.
Yeah.
This
But
is
they're getting they have a chance to get a lot of guys back too. They had 4 starters missing on defense when the game ended the other day, and Raheem Morris said on Monday that he thinks he had some pretty good optimism. Zach Harrison, Jalen Walker, Billy Bowman, and Jesse Bates, who got hurt in the Miami game.
Yep.
The other 3 didn't play at all in the game. They think there's a chance that all of those guys will be back, as well as London and Penix will have a chance.
Yeah.
So if they get those guys back, personnel-wise, I think it's a bigger challenge than what you've seen in the last month.
Yeah, some good, passing statistic numbers for their defense that, maybe points to some more challenges for the Patriots passing attack and maybe some opportunities to continue to get the running game going for the Patriots. Try to, maybe they lean a little more to the run this week. I don't know, but, I think it's weird because Atlanta, they don't have a lot of household names on their defense. There's not like really a superstar talent to really point to. There's some solid players. Christian Ellis's brother plays a ton as one of their linebackers with Diablo. But it's like
Diablo's
you look at
out.
Diablo's gonna be out.
He's on IR.
So that's what's hard with me. You look at this, it's like usually circle the big players, and then now it's like they, it seems like the offense, they play well in spurts and they're pretty good against the pass, but I don't think they've allowed a 300-yard passer yet.
They haven't allowed a 200-yard passer.
200-yard passer.
Yeah,
so,
their pass defense is legitimate. Like their defense in general is really good, and they kind of run like the new version of the Seattle 3, so it's a lot of zone coverage. Cover 3 quarters, but on third down they have like this pressure package that's like Brian Flores-esque that they run on third down that I did not see coming, and I was like, whoa, like where's the tie here? Like they're running a lot of like fire zones and zone pressure and things like that. And
do teams not pass well against them because they can run, or the other way around?
I think that there's an argument to be made that the yards are being held down by game script, whether it's running the football or short fields or whatever the case may be. But they're really good in all the opponent adjusted stuff too. Like, DVOA and things like that have them, pretty high as well in pass. Not first in the league, not best in the league, but still top 10 in the NFL. So their run defense has been weak, and they've specifically struggled a lot against gap schemes, schemes with pullers and downhill runs and things like that. And that's Josh McDaniels' bread and butter. Like if you can't stop, power and fullbacks and things like that, Josh McDaniels has got plenty of that in his bag. So if I was the Patriots, I would think that that's where they start, is trying to run the ball to start this game. And then maybe you can get some of the play action passes to open them up a little bit, because they don't give up very many explosives on defense. They're second in the league in explosive play rate on defense. So this is a true strength on strength, like number 1 pass defense, number 2 in explosive play rate against one of the most explosive passing offenses in football with Drake May.
Kind of like you have to go into the minutia a little bit. It's not like you can just say Myles Garrett. They've got Myles Garrett.
Right.
We just talk about Myles Garrett, but it is a good matchup that, like Evan said, I think will test some of what we've seen from the Patriots lately.
Yeah, and I will say, and this is just anecdotal because I don't break down the tape, as you guys know, like the way Evan and Mike do. But with Jeff Ulbrich as their defensive coordinator, and you guys remember him from the Jets.
Yep.
He was the interim guy who took over, but he was a defensive coordinator with New York. And one of the things that the Jets did really well was defend Josh Allen. Buffalo had some like kind of slogs against the Jets. They always beat them. The Bills would always find a way to win the game, but they had some slogs against this defense. And then a couple of weeks ago on a Monday night, that's as bad as I've seen Buffalo's offense look all year in that Monday night game. So I'm not telling you
That's
the
some
scheme.
familiarity.
I'm not telling you there's a scheme similarity, but there's a style similarity with May and Allen. He wants to get the ball, out to not necessarily one guy, but he's going to spread it around. He's going to use his legs. He's going to buy time. Ulbrich has had some success with that, so it might be something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, he's running that was Robert Saleh's defense in New York, and that's his mentor. That's the guy that taught Ulbrich a lot of this stuff, and it's the same system. It's the same system they were running with the Jets, same system Saleh is running with San Francisco on their defense right now as well. Offensively, for the Falcons, I did a little bit of a rant on this at the end of Catch 22. Their offense pisses me off, frankly, because when you have that much talent on offense and you're 28th in the league in scoring, that is a coaching issue. That is
Well,
scheme
could it also
issue.
be a quarterback issue?
It's coaching. Like, you don't have Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, a decent offensive line, and score 17 points a game. Like, that doesn't, the math doesn't math there. They motion a ton. I think all of the motion, the pistol, they run a ton of pistol formation. It's like all this like fancy cool stuff that they do, and then you snap the ball and it's just vanilla. Like, they run the same stuff. They don't threaten the middle of the field, which is a big reason why they struggle against man coverage. Like, this scheme, I like Zach Robinson. I think he does some creative things with Bijan especially.
Tight pants guy.
He's losing me. He's on the outside right now.
But do you think that they have enough to scheme up the Patriots defense on the first 2 drives again?
They have enough to be a good offense.
Yeah.
Like, this should be a much better offense than it is. I think the biggest issue that they have with the quarterback is that he's not mobile, which kills them because all the pistol stuff that they're doing is kind of watered down because they don't have a mobile quarterback. And then he doesn't throw the middle of the field. So Penix only wants to throw verticals and he wants to throw outside the numbers. That's the only thing that he does. He's last in the league in the percentage of passes that travel into the middle of the field. And when you play teams that play a lot of man coverage against you, crossers, slants, in-breaking routes, like, that's how you beat man coverage. And if your quarterback isn't willing to read the middle of the field out and throw the ball there, then you're just throwing ISO go balls on the outside against man-to-man, and that's how you have those are 50-50 propositions in the NFL.
Kind of
So-
feeds in for the Patriots too, I'd say. Like,
Yeah.
You want to target the middle of the field, you want to target the linebackers and the safeties on the cornerback or on the tight ends and the running
Yep.
backs too.
Yeah, so they're dead last in the league in EPA against man coverage. They're the worst offense in the league
So
against
we're going back to
coverage.
man this week, huh?
And like by quite a bit. Like, it's a pretty big gap between them and the next team.
Eddie in LA writes in, did Deuce just call London a complimentary piece? Brother, that is a wide receiver 1. Learn ball, Deuce. Haha, jokes aside, I'm very excited to see Gonzo or Davis manned up on London, so hopefully he suits up. Did you call
I don't
London
know.
a complimentary piece?
I didn't mean to call him a complimentary piece. I said generally I don't like those kind of receivers get sold to me a lot in the draft, and I just don't like them. I don't gravitate towards them. And I get that he's one of the few that's very athletic and has the size, but like I like guys
Interesting
with
take.
some explosion who can, I don't
You
want,
like separators.
I like separators,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
guys that, I love AJ Brown, I just love physical, shorter receive, not shorter, I don't want to say that, but the tall former basketball players who can jump up and make contested catches, they don't usually float my boat.
He's a good player.
But
I like Drake London.
He's a really good player, but if you look at his metrics, like, fits this whole thing of like he's a zone beating receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's gonna find the soft spots, he's gonna run the seams, he's gonna find those areas of the zone coverages. But his separation numbers, now he's a contested catch guy, so like you have to throw him back shoulders and you have to throw him high points and you have to throw him open. But his separation numbers against man coverage are down near the bottom of the league.
So this is one where I think you do put, whether it's Davis or Gonzo, you put him one-on-one so that he can't hunt those matchups like you talk about.
Yeah, I think that this is a man coverage game. Now, when I unpack that, Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson become a problem.
Yeah, right.
So that's really where I think this can unravel on the Patriots in terms of the man-to-man approach, is who's covering the tight end and who's covering Bijan. So that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Is like they have 3 good corners that can cover the receivers. Like, I think Marcus Jones matches up against Darnell Mooney, and Gonzalez and Davis match up against Drake London. But as we get to the tight end and the running back, I don't know where you go. And
Do you go Davis on Pitts maybe? Do you think
I
about
think that's a
that?
possibility. They haven't done that yet.
With the 7th rated safety on him.
Yeah.
That was for free.
But that's not what he's
That
good
was
at,
for
Paul.
Fred.
We said
no,
that
no,
was-
he's not. No, I would agree with you.
If you go back to the old Bill Belichick way, is there one guy, like, if you had to pick, we're going to take him out? Is it Bijan Robinson?
Yeah, he's the engine of their offense.
Yeah.
But their Patriots run defense has been so good that I'm not totally concerned about him as a runner.
Right. I'm not either.
I
am.
I
but-
really don't know what
but
to think.
I'm talking about him as a receiver.
Yeah, that him as a receiver is a problem, and I don't really know how. Like you could say, like I love the Carlton Davis idea. Like that'd be a great wrinkle. I don't know what that is on Bijan.
Right.
Like not gonna put a corner on him. Like so I don't know.
Gotta hope Ellison Spillane.
Marty Mapu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went well last one.
What should Mapu have done on that play? Should he just got up closer?
Yeah,
I mean,
so you want them to play trail in that position where like he runs right directly behind Fannin,
it's too much.
and so
space.
that when the pick comes, he's literally like right behind him in his hip, and that way there he can avoid the pick. You probably might still give up the catch, but then you can just make the tackle and get off the field.
Jack in Ann Arbor with his weekly stutter stiff list for the Falcons this week. Stutter stiff, Michael Penix.
Stiff.
Really?
Sure.
Bijan Robinson.
Stud.
Drake
stud,
London.
Stud.
Mike Hughes.
Stiff.
More of a stiff.
Stiff. If I was them, Kayshon Boutte on Mike Hughes, we're bombing. We're bombing. He's given up more touchdowns on deep passes than any corner in football so far this year. So I guarantee you're going to see at least one shot to
And
Kayshon.
finally, Xavier Watts.
Good player.
He's good.
Yeah, I'm excited about him. I really liked him in the draft.
I don't know as much about him. as
So
you
wait,
guys.
is
Notre
it just
Dame
Mike
player.
Hughes giving up
No,
all
I
the
know
big
who he
plays
is.
if they're good against explosives, but he stinks at it?
Yes. And obviously you don't want to throw at AJ Terrell too often.
Yeah,
like
sure.
I would.
I think he's one of the
he's
more
good.
underrated players
Yeah.
in the league. No one
Yeah.
ever talks about him
No.
the way they talk about like Gonzo and Sertan
No.
and
Yeah, he's a
those
good player.
kinds of corners. Derek Stingley.
The closest thing probably to a star on that defense. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesse
Yeah.
Bates was very good.
He's
too,
been a
but-
really good player for a few years too.
Yep. Yeah. I wrote that he was a Pro Bowler, and then I looked it up, and he's never made the Pro Bowl, and that like blew my mind because I think I'm with Paul. I think he's one of the better cover safety corners, in the league. But their other corner, Mike Hughes, can be picked on.
All right. So Vrabel today at 12:55.
A little later. Pushed it back because evidently they're working on a trade.
Is that right?
You sound like the guys on the Sports Hub when they say, Paul, what are they doing at the trade deadline? You're in on those
No, you
meetings.
said it very convincingly. I thought maybe you had some insider knowledge.
I can dream. Trey Hendrickson,
so
I can dream.
is the press conference later?
It is
Yes,
later.
later.
It's like 110,
1:10.
115.
That really cuts into my eating time. I'm not sure.
Is it 110 or 115?
110. Yeah.
110.
He did this Titans week because he was talking to the
Right.
Titans reporters. So I don't know what the push reason, but it's a whole week. Next tomorrow and Friday has also been pushed back
A little bit.
by like 10 minutes.
Getting ready for the fall back with the clocks on Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh,
Get
maybe.
ready.
Maybe?
Maybe. I think they're definitely, I mean, we saw what the intros, like, they're trying everything they can to get faster starts. Like, whether it's maybe practicing at a different time or, something. I don't know. The intros, I think, were a big part of that, trying to get some energy in the building before the game started. So they're pulling out everything that they can.
I like that theory.
I haven't heard that theory before, and I like
Slow
it too.
starts,
Really?
get some energy in the building.
He literally said
This
it
is
after
all
the game.
So we don't get the
We
whole,
only get a cut up.
we don't get
of that?
everything after the game.
So
we're working after the game, guys.
Me in the press conference is working. I think
I was
that
giving you credit.
he doesn't like to go back, and I say Vrabel doesn't like to go back on trends with this team, but the 4-16 record at home since like the start of 23 or whatever it is, I think that's one that stuck with him. Like, we need to be a better home team, and they were 1-2 to start the year at home. So I think that he's aware that they have not been good enough here at home, and the intros was to try to get the juices in the stadium flowing a little bit more early on in the game.
Okay.
Didn't work.
All right. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcasts@patriots.com is the email address. Let's get people involved. We'll start with Todd in Gardner. What's up, Todd?
Hey, guys. I just would say that this year will be successful if Evan's follow-up after the games, after further review, gets our rookies, all three of them, starting to be talked about. I feel like that's a sign of success for us.
Sure. So we got to get Kyle
And one
Williams
other-
more involved.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I was gonna say I talk
Yep,
about everybody that
exactly.
plays. So
No, I think he's talking about the top
he's
3
not
rookies.
in there yet.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
really good game by Jared Wilson though. Want to give
J-Rod
him
getting some love.
some flowers.
Okay.
Yeah. And my comp for our quarterback is not one that well, I think that Paul will like this. I went and looked at Stafford the other day because I was watching the Lions play, and then I was remembering Stafford was there, and I was like, Stafford used to do some amazing things. Stafford and our guy Drake are very similar in their ability to roll out, extend a play, make those crazy throws. Yeah, we don't have Megatron, but that would be more of my comp than the Bills boy. I really think that he's more of like a young Stafford.
I
Yeah.
think he
What do
has
you
some
think?
Stafford, but I like he's a better runner than Stafford.
Thanks, Todd.
ever was.
That's the difference to me is the running. But I do see the way
the angles.
the way
Yeah.
they throw the ball,
Yeah.
the trick shots, the arm arrogance that I'm gonna throw this
Arm
anywhere.
arrogance, I like
What's
that.
the throw to Hollins when he was going north to south, and he threw it kind of across his body to the left-hand side? Was that a no-look pass? I think it was.
He threw one to Pop that was a no look
Oh,
pass
Pop.
that maybe you
Maybe
mean.
it was Pop I
I
was
didn't
thinking.
care for it. But that was one of those where it's like I think they were already up 16-7 at that point. Like I don't need the no look to the post safety going the other way. Like we can put that one in the back pocket. But he has more of that, like Stafford has more of that like gunslinger trick shot thing to him that I can see a little bit with Drake. But I agree with Paul. He's much more mobile than
Better
Stafford.
runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when Stafford was younger, Todd's right. He was a better athlete. He's 38 or whatever now with all those injuries. But even in his prime, he wasn't the runner that Drake is. He could move, but not like Drake.
Yeah.
Will's in Montreal. Hey, Will.
Hi. Last week I called in about Myles Garrett, and he proceeded to break the franchise record for the Browns. How do we contain Bijan Robinson this week? And my second question is, do you guys know when the next episode of Forge in Foxborough is coming out?
You have to stay tuned. No set date, but just stay tuned.
He
Will's
didn't even
gone.
stay
He didn't
tuned on
want
the
to
call.
wait for the
either.
answer. Okay.
I mean, I don't get too carried away thinking about scheming up to stop Bijan. They've been really good team defense, and that's been a weekly thing. So I have some confidence that they'll make life tough. I think the bigger concern is what Evan said. It's him as a receiver and getting him, out into the backfield. That's where the damage has been, especially like the Miami game.
So let's just focus on the running part of Bijan Robinson's game right now. The way the Patriots have been playing against the run, is that sufficient, or is there something? Do they have to maybe bring somebody down to help out against this guy?
Oh, well, they've been one of the best run defenses in football. And, this Falcons offense runs outside zone more than any team in the league. So they're going to put the quarterback in pistol. They're going to put Bijan behind him, and they're going to run outside zone to the right. And they're going to run outside zone to the right again. And then they'll probably do it 15 more times. So if you just load up on outside zone, they every once in a while will throw like an inside zone or duo changeup at you, but it's not very frequent. So, I think that this is a lot of the yards that he's getting. Like they're only like 20 something in rush EPA. Like they're not a good run offense on the whole, but he's great. So a lot of the yards he's getting is him. He's broken the most tackles in football. He's like up there in yards after contact, top 5 in the league in yards after contact. So they don't really do much to help him. Like he's kind of just like the run against Buffalo. He just breaks a tackle and takes
he's
it
gone.
80 yards to the house.
Yep. Mike in Long Island. Mike.
Mike.
Hey guys.
Hey.
So is it time to retire the sacrificial X receiver?
Is it time to retire the sacrificial X receiver? You're going to have to explain that.
See,
to me.
I don't think so because
Yeah.
I think Kayshon Boutte is playing the sacrificial X exactly how it's
but
meant to be played.
Yeah.
Like when
But it's not a sacrifice anymore. He's been killing it. He's got like every 4.6 catches.
Oh, so what you're saying, it's not a throwaway anymore.
So I think I get what he's saying.
Let Evan explain.
Like, so, historically the sacrificial X was birthed because they're just running wind sprints out there and clearing out coverage and not necessarily getting the ball. But I think that the good versions of that they have gotten the ball. but they're just running a lot of verticals. Like I used the Brandon LaFell comparison, I think yesterday. Like Brandon LaFell got plenty of targets in the offense, but it wasn't a diverse route tree, and he's stick to the boundary, and like that's exactly what Kayshon Boutte's doing. So I think he's like a great version
It's
of
like
it.
3 a game. Like it's not like Matthew Slater.
Yeah.
Like we're never going to throw it to him. You're just going to run down there every play, and we're never going to throw it to you. Boutte's been outstanding in that role. I agree with everything you guys just said.
Well, I was just going to piggyback when you said with Josh McDaniels mic'd up talking to Boutte saying appreciate your patience. I think that's something you're going to be the sacrificial X. You have to have some patience. You might only get 3 or 4 targets a game, but if you're on point, they might be a 60-yard touchdown bomb or
That was the best mic'd up we've ever done.
No.
Now maybe that's just because it was Josh McDaniels.
I wonder why.
It was a good week.
It was the best one we've ever done. Listening, to some of the football stuff that we were able to put in there about, him saying, "All right, we're going to motion over here, and he's going to go over there. There he goes," and like just knowing like before it even happens, what was going to play out.
Turn your hips a little more inside. There you go.
Yeah, like it's incredible. Like in the amount of
if you read the
detail.
comments on YouTube, people are just over the the top.
What I said to Paul, I love too, was just how he was so encouraging to Boutte, and Boutte saying what impressed me was that you got him to turn his hips in the details, and Boutte saying, like I'm listening to you, and you can tell when a player's buying what the coaches are selling, and we've had experiences over the last few years where we had a lot of questions if the players, even believed the coaches knew what they were doing. So, I think it's another one of those things where confidence equals production, which feeds more confidence. And, now they're believing even more what those coaches are selling them. So hopefully Boutte can keep it up. He's a great story. I mean, you look at him as a 6th-round pick and what he's made himself into to be a part of this offense. I don't know a couple years ago if anybody could have seen that coming through 2 different regime changes that, all of a sudden Boutte was going to be the one to kind of emerge into a really solid role.
Yeah, the level of detail in that mic'd up of like just the predictability factor. Like, talking about like the Hunter Henry touchdown. He's like, all right, we're going to motion and this is what they're going to do. And now we're in the flat and touchdown.
Yeah,
and it's like to be that prepared for the opponent and know exactly how all the chess pieces on the board were going to move on any play is like, it shows how much work they put into, studying these opponents and getting to know the defenses and stuff.
I like the Drake thing too, where he just said, give our guys a chance against the guys you should give them a chance against.
Trust.
Do you feel me? You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. I felt part of that was he knew he was mic'd up. He didn't want to call out certain guys that they knew were mismatches. But no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Chase says he saw the clips with McDaniels. Seems like he's doing a great job communicating with May on how to read each play. Do you think this jump from May comes from skill changes over the past year, or is it the effect of having the greatest OC of all time?
Well, look, the whole thing is working right now. I think, and we can talk about what a coach's impact is but Drake is just playing to his strengths. It's crazy. His ability to run. I still think there's things to go. There's still places to go.
Connor in St. Paul. Great conversation the other day of whether Josh McDaniels is a tight pants guy. Before there were tight pants guy, there were visor guys. Josh never gave up on the visor.
That's true. He is a visor guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I could hear that. Yeah, I just think the improvement for Drake in the pocket, his pocket movement, the ball security in the pocket, that to me is where I think he could always throw the ball, obviously, and I think he could read coverage at a pretty high level too. I think he was doing that his rookie season, but now they got him like understanding like the subtle movements in the pocket, and you don't always need to move 10 feet. Sometimes you only need to move a little this way or a little that way, and when he does it, he's got 2 hands on the ball and he's protecting the football while he's moving. I think that growth has been. Whether it's McDaniels or Ashton Grant or whoever, like that's been very noticeable.
All right. Paul, you all right?
Yeah.
You look a little quiet today.
A lot of X's and O's talk.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I let the ball knowers do that.
All right.
Sorry,
Okay.
Paul.
No worries.
You can talk about X's and O's.
Yeah,
You don't have to say that you don't break it down like us. You do break it down like us.
It's not my thing. No, I just watch. I don't break it down. I've never watched a game over again. Almost never.
I commend you for that because you see a lot for somebody that only watches it once.
And I'm not exaggerating. I can't remember the last time I rewatched a game. like live. Like,
Yeah.
so in other words, on Monday, I'm watching the game
Yeah.
that I can't remember the last time I did that. Probably like 02,
Yeah.
03.
I think there are different levels of it though. Like I don't ever claim to do what Evan does on his Mondays, but I like to go back and look at plays and it's maybe look at certain players and
Yeah, I definitely
enjoy
look at
it,
plays
you know?
I do that.
because I can't.
Yeah.
You can't take it all in. So like certain plays, I want to see what was going on that I missed.
Yeah.
Or I hear people talking about something. Let me see it for myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I
Yeah,
do.
Yeah.
I get so into like watching it out of order though, and like doing specific things, and then the game gets jumbled in my brain. So then like before we do the Monday show, I have to just like quickly watch the 10-minute recap to like re-put all the plays in order for me because they get all jumbled in my brain. As
Yeah, because like I watch all offense and then all defense.
Yeah. You
So
kind of forget. You kind of miss the like flow of the game a little bit. It's
you
just
do,
like,
but you see the chess match.
yeah.
Like when you watch it all together, like that drive to drive, you can see, okay, this is what happened on this drive, and then they called this play this next drive
makes
because they
sense.
called
Yeah.
that play before,
Yeah.
and so it makes it easier to see the sequencing of the plays. But you do kind of miss the forest sometimes.
Yeah.
You do.
These days I like the defense, and then I usually Drake's dropbacks. Those are my
Not a
check it out.
not a bad place to be.
Let's go to Sean in Vancouver. What's up, Sean?
Vancouver.
Fred, you talk a lot about the registry and bring that up for people to look at for where they're going to find a great fan bar. I don't know if everyone realizes how amazing it is. I was in Key West this past weekend, and I looked on the registry to find a place to watch a game, and I found Dog Island, and it was amazing. Like, I've been to lots of bars in Florida. I've never seen a sports bar where the Dolphins game is relegated to the corner, but half the other TVs and the most prominent ones are showing the Patriots game, and everyone in there is a Patriots fan. We're all rooting and cheering at the same time. It's just a great experience. So people, you really got to look into that registry, and if you don't have one in your area, see if you can get one started because it's a huge boost, especially now that the team's great again. So that's terrific. The other question I have, and this is a bit of a weird one, the receivers have really come through. I love this receiver group, and I'm pretty sure they can be great next year too. But I'd love to get Jeremiah Smith. So is it possible for the Patriots to trade for a 2027 first-round pick so they can somehow maneuver and select Jeremiah Smith and really have Drake to Smith as that all-star?
That's a real crapshoot. To
I also don't want to wait another year.
yeah,
I think Jeremiah Smith might be the number 1 overall pick in the 2027 draft.
Yeah.
So unless you can get to number 1 overall,
yeah.
somehow.
But even if he isn't, it's still you're taking your chances.
Well, he's going to be top 3, no doubt. He'd be like a top 10 receiver in football.
No,
right
I'm with
now.
Sean. I mean, he's tremendous, tremendous player. But can we get someone? Do we have to wait another year?
I hear what he's saying. It's not even that. It's totally not possible.
Yeah.
Unless they fall apart and they're picking in the top 5 again, which Lord help us, then there's no way they're getting Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
Ryan Williams, maybe. Ryan Williams has fallen off a little bit.
I agree. I've watched a lot of him, and I was talking to Evan about
the
this
kid from Alabama.
Can I perk up now?
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
I've come to the conclusion that Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in the country, who was this 5th-year guy who's never started and was not really on my radar. And his first game against Florida State was uneven, to put it kindly. Mm-hmm. But I've watched a fair amount of Alabama games because for whatever reason,
on.
but they're always on early.
Yeah.
Which is great for me because I know they put their marquee games on in the in prime time, and Grandpa falls asleep. I don't make it through.
Or big noon kickoff.
Yeah, the big noon kickoffs, that's my wheelhouse.
Right.
And he's got a great arm. He has excellent mobility. He's got good size, much better athlete. I think he's pretty good. And Ryan, just in watching a little bit, he's had some drops.
Yep.
He's kind of small and he's gotten banged up a little bit. Looks like he has some concussion issues.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not tremendously talented, because he is.
Yeah.
But
he hasn't kept up the pace.
He has not looked as good as he did last year.
Yeah.
He's starting to,
Jeremiah Smith has.
He's starting to give off a little bit of, and this isn't meant to be a knock, but he's more like Devontae Smith, I think, than he is in Jeremiah Smith's tier. Jeremiah Smith's like Julio Jones 2.0.
Yeah. I think that's a very good both ways.
Ryan Williams a little slighter,
Yeah.
a little bit undersized. Yeah, that's 2027. We're not like.
And I did see at least one mock have Ty Simpson as a projected number 1 overall pick, which blew me away. Because it's just like, this guy's coming out of nowhere. Now, it's a perfect thing for Simpson because he's played really well. And a lot of the other supposed top quarterbacks have not had great years. Drew Aller's out for the year, and he wasn't great when he was playing. Garrett Nussmeier is in a mess down there with LSU, and Brian Kelly getting fired, and their offensive coordinator getting fired. Their offensive line is a mess. Obviously, Will Campbell held that all together last year because they can't make a pass without him getting killed. I like the kid from Oregon more.
Yeah.
And I want to see more of the Indiana kid. I haven't seen enough of him. I only see highlights.
What do you think? You don't like Sellers?
I love the skill set, but why doesn't he? I mean, if he's that, and I know this is silly, but if he's that good, shouldn't they be a little bit better? Now, last week against Alabama, he was the reason why they stayed in the game.
Yeah,
he made play after play. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's
athletic,
kind of some Anthony Richardson vibes there. I don't know.
Yeah, if we're talking receiver next year though, that's not Jeremiah Smith, obviously. Jordan Tyson is probably the number 1 guy, but Lemon from USC is getting a lot of Puka Nacua type comps, and
I don't know much about him.
He's really talented too, and him and Carnell Tate from Ohio State are going to be in the 20s somewhere. So if the Patriots are a playoff team and they're picking somewhere in the 20s, I don't know if receiver is really where they're going to need to go, but if they end up going receiver, then those 3 guys are all projected to go right now in the first round, outside the top 10, but in the first round.
And I bring up all those quarterbacks, Freddie, because I think
more the better.
Yes. This is a pretty deep class.
Push it down. Yeah.
And if you can get these quarterbacks into the first round, that obviously helps the Patriots.
Yeah. I just
conspiracy theories. The fact that it's projected to be a good quarterback class, does that have any dotted lines to a lot of teams just not playing well this year?
I don't think there are a lot of teams that are going to be in that market. So that's,
okay.
I don't know. I mean, there's certainly some. New Orleans would be an example of a red flag for you. Once Derek Carr stepped aside, it's like, all right, we're really going to go with Spencer Rattler, and then we're going to draft Tyler Shuck. And now Rattler's out of a job. Shuck's going to be in. So they're not going to win more than 3 games.
Yeah. It's
they're going to be in the market, but I mean, who else?
Saints,
how many?
Jets.
The Jets, the Saints, the Browns.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this quarterback class has cooled off a little bit for sure. Coming into the year, it was they thought maybe this was going to look like Drake's year. Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb, Penix.
Well, Arch Manning has kind of fallen off.
Actually, he's looked a lot better. And I think he's healthier. I think he had a shoulder
and he's
issue.
Insisted, and I know that Evan and I sort of bicker about this one off air. He insists, the Manning family insists he's got no plans to go anywhere. He's not coming out.
He probably won't come out.
And that's my argument is always the Mannings generally do what they say.
That's right.
The
last couple of weeks he's looked better. He got hurt at the end of the game last week.
That was an unbelievable comeback. By the way.
But he's looked
Mississippi State coaching staff.
He's looked a lot physically better. He's throwing the ball. It's not looking as weird and it hurts every time he throws the football. So maybe he was hurt at the beginning of the year.
One other draft thing I clocked too was
he's clocking drafts.
Clocked the draft thing. Well, you got to have the radar up. But Jordan Reed said not a great running back class after Love from Notre Dame. And so I don't know. Sometimes you just follow these ebbs and flows of it's a great tight end year. Not seems like Patriots definitely will be in the market for running back this year. So something to note.
It's a great edge class. That's the one that's getting touted as the number 1 part of the class. Ruben Bain from Miami is.
I've heard a lot of that.
A top 5 pick in this draft. But it's a good edge class, and you could probably get a pretty solid prospect.
Barth just turned his car around. He's headed back.
Well, he's already
draft. Oh,
he's already here. He's here for the media.
No kicker talk.
But we did 10 minutes on how they need a kick returner. And he was arguing against himself. I was I'm not pushing back on the fact that they could use an upgrade at kick returner. And he's going on and on about how important it is now at the new kickoff rules and everything. And I'm like, I don't know who
Yeah,
you're
but you brought up the
arguing
stat
about.
that the difference between the top kick return team and the bottom is 7 yards.
It's 8 yards.
8 yards.
Yeah, 35 to 27. They're Detroit Lions lead the league right now. They're at their average starting field position after a kickoff's 35. So it's 8 yards
But
over.
he wanted to bring back Gunnar Olszewski.
He did.
And I said, we've already got him. His name's Efton Chisholm.
You do. I agree.
It's kind of true.
Right.
I don't know if you were looking to pick one there, but I agree
correct,
with you.
yeah.
I don't think we both think that means the same thing.
I know. I know. I know.
You absolutely have that guy already on your roster.
Eldred's in North Carolina. Hey, Eldred. Hey,
It's a loud one.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the rail yard right now.
in a rail yard.
Whoa.
Waiting for your dropping off or picking up.
Both dropping off and to pick up out of here too. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Yep.
Kind of feel bad about the Duggar trade, but I understand why. But my question is, we can't get a linebacker or a safety that can cover tight ends and backs out the backfield or whatever. You know, that's one of my worries. And Evan, I gotta disagree with you, bro. Heard your show this morning. I want that outside receiver, 6'3" with speed to stretch the defense. And I'll let it go at that.
Okay.
Y'all have a good one.
Thanks.
All right.
Are Evan, are you anti-high production
No, that was me.
receivers?
That was I think that was directed.
No, I know what he's saying. I think it did take me a second, but we were talking on the Catch-22 about the deadline and possibly adding, and I just look at the receiver position where it's like, if it's not like AJ Brown, I just don't know why they would add like
Kobe Myers,
just another receiver.
I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
If you can steal a stud, then I'm all for that all the time. But I don't.
Another 3-4. No.
So I brought up my example. Myers is a good one. I brought up Chris Olave, whose name has been floated around. I like Chris Olave
a lot,
but
I like him a lot.
Is he that much better than Kayshon Boutte?
I don't know. I don't know if it's worth the risk of disrupting that room.
Right.
Exactly.
And I've seen a lot of Shaheed.
Yeah.
He does give you like obviously the speed element that maybe you don't have, but
yeah,
I don't know if it's worth it unless if it's like an AJ Brown type. There's still a discussion to be had there about the room.
Yeah.
And disrupting the apple cart a little bit. But for a talent like that, you might come out on the other side and say it's worth the risk because this guy is special. I like Chris Olave. I think he's good, not great. And he also has significant concussion history.
No, you're exactly hitting exactly what I was saying is that room has come together so well on and off the field.
I think it's one of the underrated elements of their success offensively is how well that room has come together.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily saying how well they've played on the field.
Yeah.
I'm saying how well they've come together.
Yeah. Everybody kind of has a role. Everyone sort of knows where their targets are. Now Matt Collins has had a couple big games and Booty keeps hitting the big plays down the field, and Diggs is kind of this straw that stirs the drink. And even like Pop, has the 44-yarder in the game on Sunday. Like, they're all kind of finding ways to contribute. And then all of a sudden, if you add like Jacoby Myers back into that mix, and now all of a sudden
who's getting
Collins
off the field,
is probably the odd man out there. And like, it just upsets the apple cart, like Paul was saying.
I thought that was highlighted too.
Mike,
in McDaniel's thing was just Diggs talking to McDaniel's, getting the marching orders, finding what message do I need to send. You can see he's really been a leader.
Mike's in Cincinnati.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, Mike.
Hey. So 2 things. Don't bother the wide receiver room. I think it's fine. Unless we get an AJ Brown, I think that we can grow with the guys we have. And I've been watching a lot of like sports talk, and it's interesting to me how they put the Kansas City Chiefs like on this pedestal, but I don't think they've beaten anybody just like we haven't really beaten a lot of hard competition. So I'm just not understanding like the power ranking and how they're.
What do you think of Detroit?
The same thing I think of Bills.
So they beat one of the better teams in football then?
Well,
a lot of people think Buffalo is done, including the guy who's sitting to my left.
Well, I think it's closing. Yeah.
No.
But Detroit, do you think they're any good?
But that's their staple win. I think they're great, but I also think that the Bills are good. But who else have they beaten, though?
What are we talking about? Who else is? I don't have Kansas City's whole schedule in front of me. I know that they had one of the most difficult schedules in football so far, though.
No,
they played the Ravens in Week 1, right?
They played Philadelphia. They played the Chargers before the Chargers lost all their players.
No, I'm asking who have they beaten, though?
I just told you, Detroit is one of the best teams in football.
That's it. I understand that, but I'm saying.
Well, you only had one opportunity. They beat Detroit.
Then they beat the Giants.
Did they beat the Giants? I don't know. I don't know every team that they beat.
They beat the Commanders, the Raiders, the Lions, the Ravens. I think that was that with or without Lamar. I don't know.
That was with Lamar, but the Ravens.
That's right. That was with Lamar. So there's two good wins
by 17.
And they also lost to Philadelphia because Travis Kelce can no longer catch.
Mike, don't make fun of Kansas City. That's Paul's team.
No, but this is like the thing that we touched on yesterday. You wanted to get me engaged. Patriots fans are back, right? They're 6-2. They're the Super Bowl champ, and now you can't even say that they've had a soft schedule without getting someone's panties all in a bunch. They've literally had the easiest schedule in the history of football since 1978, since the 16-game schedule was instituted, and you can't say it now. You have to make fun of everybody else. If you want to say Buffalo hasn't played anybody, now I'm on board because Buffalo has the same schedule the Patriots do.
Wow.
The AFC East schedule is a joke.
I know.
They're playing the worst divisions in football.
Yeah, but Buffalo is playing the first-place team in all those divisions.
Yeah, that's only 2 games.
They've played Buffalo has had a tougher schedule than the Patriots.
Barely.
I'm saying, wait.
So far,
yeah,
yes, and I would only say because of Baltimore, because of the first game of the season, Baltimore. Otherwise, they've played roughly they played Carolina, they played the Jets, they played Miami.
They didn't play Detroit.
They haven't played Detroit.
But no, they've played. Just by the fact that they finished first, their schedule's going to be
But they haven't played those teams yet, and there's only 2 of those games.
Right.
One of them is this week. They play Kansas City.
Yeah, I just like the Chiefs are what the Patriots used to be. Like they are the proof of concept team. Like they have the best quarterback in the sport. They have maybe the best head coach in the league. They are in the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game every single year. So until that changes, they are going to be ahead of a team like the Patriots that are breaking out in a young quarterback's career. Like that, I don't understand. I'm with Paul in the fact that I don't understand why everybody keeps calling in and saying, why is Kansas City and Buffalo ahead of the Patriots on power rankings? Like those,
actually, in one of them, Buffalo's behind the Patriots. But
the team, these are teams that have been there routinely for.
I got no problem with that. I'm a Patriots fan,
and if I'm a Patriots fan, I beat Buffalo, so I have an argument there. Yeah. Like I went to Buffalo and I won that game, so I think the Patriots right now should be ranked ahead of Buffalo in a power ranking. But I'm not even talking about power rankings. I'm talking about who they beat. The Patriots fans should never say that to any team based on what's happened right now. Like, why would you mock any team for who they've beaten based on you beating literally the worst 5 teams in football?
Okay, but is it mocking or is it really trying to truly judge how good another team is?
It's mocking.
Well, you think it's mocking.
Like Kansas City, why is everybody giving Kansas City this love? They haven't beaten anybody. That's how that call just started.
You're calling it mocking, but it could be just someone trying to judge how good is Kansas City this year, by who they've played.
But I understand.
And when you have Baltimore and Detroit in your win column, like I don't.
Okay.
I don't really know what we're even arguing.
And all everything supports Kansas City being a great team. Now, are they
getting better?
I think they'll be back too. If you want to argue, can we wait till they actually are back before we just say they're back?
I'm with you. 5-3.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
They're 1 game behind, despite the whole world ending for the Chiefs. They're 1 game behind the Patriots. Right? 1 game.
They're playing better. They're
all engaged.
They got their players back. Big shock, and they got better.
Yeah. Right. I mean, all the
and they would have beaten Philadelphia if not for Travis Kelce. I watched a lot of that game. They all played Philadelphia for large chunks of that game, even without all their players. No Worthy, no Rice in that game.
It's still amazing to me how wide open he gets sometimes. Like not even like on his own. No. Like on the game on Monday night, like he just catches a check down from Mahomes.
Yeah,
and
but he leaked out. He was blocking, and then he. Yeah,
I know, but like that doesn't usually go for a 35-yard play.
Well, you got a quarterback who can extend.
I know, but I like when I'm just saying most of the time when you leak out and you hit a check down to the tight end,
right?
Best case scenario that goes
10 yards.
10, 12 yards.
Especially,
this went for like 40.
Right. Especially like 37.
If he could run anymore, like,
right. He doesn't run great.
It sounds like I'm killing Kelsey. Had a great career. He's clearly on the back nine.
I got it.
But he's had a good amount of drops this year. He had another one that cost him an interception the other night. So maybe I'm getting a little defensive for this. So yesterday, the NFL put out a graphic with MVP candidates in it, right? And Drake May is one of them. And, I did the Patriots thing, and I made sure I retweeted that, saying how much I still can't believe how fast he's...
the eyeballs?
Yeah, how fast he's injected himself into this, and rightly so.
And rightly so.
But it justified. I believe I said justified.
You got to put that in there. I can't believe he's on this.
It's Drake May.
I feel great for the kid.
It's Drake May, Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, and Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
You wouldn't believe the amount of people said, what is Mahomes doing on this list?
There's no one from the NFC on the list?
No, that was the list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do the kids do it? That's the list.
That's the list. I don't know.
That's it. That's the list.
That's it.
Like, officially official.
Right.
Let's get them all out there.
Would be an NFC.
People who question Mahomes' in the discussion. I'm not saying leading candidate. In the discussion for MVP, based on him keeping that team afloat by himself for the first month and a half of the season.
Yep.
Right? Until Rice and Worthy came back. They're not serious people. I'm going to do all the all the kids things. You're just not a serious person.
Yeah.
They're not serious. They're not a serious football team.
No, he deserves to be on it.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
Yeah. And I heard people saying, like, did you see those two terrible picks that he threw the other night? Well, obviously you didn't watch the game.
Right. One was off Kelsey's hands.
Yeah, and the other one was actually a great play by Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
But the one to Kelsey could have handed it to him.
Right.
And then not only he doesn't catch it, but it gets picked off.
Right. Christian's in L.A. Hey, Christian.
Hey, you guys. How are you today?
Okay.
Great.
All right, so quickly, I didn't get my chance to give my flowers yesterday because I was caught in the elevator when you guys called me. But I just wanted to say this, and this sort of projects forward for the rest of the season. Yes, this Sunday that just passed, yes, we played one of the best defenses in football. We played one of the best defensive ends in football, if not of all time. And he had a record-breaking game, the best game of his career, and we still put up 30 points. So my question becomes this. What is the ceiling for this offense this year? If we can do that with them, looking at the rest of the defenses that we have to play, even some of the defenses that we might meet in the playoffs, what's the ceiling for this offense if we've already, in my estimation, bested one of the best defenses and one of the best players ever?
I hear what you're saying, Christian, but here's the thing you have to factor in. What happens to this defense? What happens to this offense when you have to play another really good offense? And now, you don't feel so comfortable. And, there's a lot of pressure to score because Mahomes is putting up points too. And of course that won't happen unless they get to the playoffs, but you know what I mean? So let's just say the Falcons come in this week and they have all these guys back and they're hitting on all cylinders and it's a no punt game. What happens then? I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping that they're.
What are you looking for an answer? We'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, for me, I guess the answer I'm looking for is even in that scenario, how does that prevent us from scoring points?
We don't know.
Really,
we don't know because we haven't really been there
because it's harder to score points when you have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, my question is, what is the ceiling for this offense?
What you're looking at? This is. I think this is as good as the offense can play. I think they've been great for the large part of the last 7 games. I think the offense has been outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that they're capable of much more than this?
I think that we can seriously be, when we first really get someone like the Travion Henderson has really worked into his game. Josh is coming into his own with his talent. It takes him a few games to look at and evaluate what his talent is. But I think we have every single piece on this team, and bear with me, in comparison to what we have with the 2017. We have a field stretcher. We have a slot genius.
Who's the field stretcher?
Kayshon Boutte.
Okay.
He's gotten behind more. He's got behind more cornerbacks.
Randy Moss, Kayshon Boutte
in the league.
Same thing.
So here's the thing. So the real thing is, okay, you're wondering how much better can this offense be? So let's just look at the Browns game. And thanks for the call, Christian. Let's just look at the Browns game. How much better would the offense be if they hadn't given up 6 sacks? If Myles Garrett had,
I like your first point better.
Okay, but hold on. If he hadn't gotten 5 sacks, my question is, are they capable of that? Like,
that's my point.
Is the offensive line good enough to, if they play this game over, to not allow that? I don't know the answer.
Maybe
to that.
Garrett doesn't get 5 if they play again, but the Browns probably get like 4 or 5 sacks again as a team.
Right. So
that's what they get every game. That's what they allow every game. Not the Browns, the Patriots.
Right, because it
They're
wasn't
the second most sacked team in football.
It wasn't a question of this is a really good offensive line. They just had a bad day. This is kind of like where the offensive line is right now. They're a young, on one side, they're very young. They're old on the other side. They've got a journeyman center, and they're kind of, they're playing okay. But if you're looking at something that a team that can really get at the quarterback, that's the one weakness I think the Patriots have right now on offense.
I mean, yes, but I'd also just say if Drake May continues to play at this level, which I don't think he will. I mean, I think he's very good, but this is like playing even above his own head right now. Like that to me is
Keep
like
going.
That offsets that. I mean, they still won the game by crazy points.
So how much better than that can he play?
No, I don't.
What did you just say before that?
Right, I
which
think
he's probably
playing,
not going to.
Right. So he's
on an unbelievable historic heater, and people are saying, can he get better?
Yeah.
Can the offense get better? I don't know, how much better he can play than he's doing.
Right, and
he's carrying the team.
And the point I was, trying to get to is that as he kind of drops off a little bit, I think he's still going to be very good, but you're going to need more from the running game. You're going to need more from the pass production.
All right, let's go to Mike Vrabel.
Aaron? Hello, Mike. Why was it important to extend Marcus Jones at this time?
I think it's something that, we've talked about and wanted to, I think he embodies everything that we're looking for here in a player and a teammate on the field in the community. Something that we were excited about doing, and glad that he wanted to get that done and be with us moving forward.
Mike Smith said last month that Keon White was going to be a big part of what you guys do. Why did you feel it was important to move on now?
I think that, just the timing of everything and where we're at as a team, we felt like it was, the right thing to do. And we get a lot of guys in that room, and we just felt like at this particular time to make those moves that we made with him and Kyle, and really better make our focus here against the Falcons, a team that we don't know much about, haven't played in 5 years or 4 or 5 years. So wish Keon the best, wish Kyle the best, appreciate their professionalism, and added some other guys here to the roster too.
Mike, specific on Keon, I know he played in the last preseason game. You give him a shot there. He's also someone who started camp as a kind of a first-team starter role. Why do you think ultimately it just didn't work out with him?
I'm not trying to, figure those things out. I'm trying to prepare the team for the Falcons, and wish him the best of luck. And we have a huge challenge here. Again, taking on a great skill team offensively with a lot of speed and home run hitting ability. The defense, it's hardly gives up a lot of yards. Certainly tough throwing the football against them. A.J. Terrell's having another fantastic year. Bates, if you make a mistake, it'd be a turnover. A lot of young rushers. So again, those are the things that I'm focused on right now.
Mike, to that end, what kind of challenges does Bijan Robinson present?
Many. I think if there's any crack, he's going to test our edge. He's going to test our wall, and he's going to test everything we do about having guys swarming to the football. There's been some good defenses that he's been able to, gain yards against, and their 3 victories. They average 186 yards a game on the ground, and it's not like they're manufacturing a lot. Not a lot of those are the quarterback. It's Bijan and Algier.
What are you seeing from Drake, maybe before the snap, after the snap, that's helping him have success with the deep ball?
Well, I think there's a lot of trust there. I think it starts with trust. I think just being able to put it in a position where those guys can make a play. So again, I think that there's one, trust. It's location, and then guys are doing a good job down the field. I mean, we had one that was, taken away earlier in New Orleans with a tough, decision there from the referee, but that's how it goes. Even Ramondre's the other day. Ramondre comes down with the ball. It's just, a little wide, and so again, I think the guys that he's been throwing to have helped him, and I think he stays patient. I don't think he panics and launches it or throws it 7 yards out of bounds. But I think there's been a lot of improvement from training camp and seeing some of those passes. And I don't think there was as many completed in this regular season as there were in preseason. I'm glad we're saved. I'm glad we saved them for the regular season. So I think there's a lot of things that go into it. Certainly when you do those longer developing routes, there has to be a good pocket, for the quarterback to step up in, and I think that's been the case as well.
With things going so well of late for you guys, obviously 5 straight wins and a lot of handy wins, does it almost challenge you in a way to avoid complacency setting in with your team?
I think that's what we're always trying to do, is not allow these good times, soften us up mentally and just let things slip that we didn't, things we weren't doing earlier in the season, or the way that we prepare, or the things that we want to believe in as a team. And so it's always a good reminder, especially in this league where anything can happen. Talk about having an identity, and the identity doesn't care where you play, it doesn't care what time it is, and it doesn't care what the score is. It just, you either have it or you don't.
You have some
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think even before the season started, you told us, and the players echo, that you want to be a team who is be stronger in the second half than first half of games, and finished, I'm paraphrasing, but finished strong. Certainly something we saw in last week's game. What do you think are the commonalities that have made this team stronger in that game and another?
I think they're conditioning. I think that they're working during the week. I think they practice hard as you get into the second half of the game. I don't think that we panic based on where the score is or who's getting the ball, or I think we've adjusted well. I think our players, again, even little things, maybe the speed of the Browns and the defense, I think that's hard to recreate early in the game, where there may be one run that we had early in the game, didn't look too hot, and come back in it later in the game, and you see linemen getting off on the backer that's running through just a half a step sooner, and able to get the block and get the back through, as opposed to maybe earlier in the game it was it was a little faster than what we had been able to show them in practice. So the players do a good job of adjusting to some of those things, and can still be better. Still too sloppy in some situations, and we'll need to be great at much better in the red zone if we're able to get down there this week.
Michael Penix was obviously out last week, and you'll have some uncertainty to deal with. I think he's going to be out there today in Atlanta, just doing a walkthrough. But between him and Cousins, you have to prepare fully for both guys.
Well, I mean, there's more mobility, and which hand you're going to use to match, and that was the thing. I thought we did a nice job getting our hand on the football last week. We had 8 PBUs, and we got a couple at the line of scrimmage in the pass rush situation, and those usually end up getting intercepted. So we'll practice, both ways, and we'll have to make sure that one's a little bit more mobile than the other, and then be ready to go. I think the concepts are similar, but there'll be some different play styles that are different between obviously Michael and Kirk.
Mike, when you're putting your game plan together, how much of it all do you take into account the officiating?
No, I don't think that's something. We remind them of some things, and maybe whether it was last week with a crew that had called a lot of line of scrimmage penalties, or the things we talked about on Wednesday, starting early on, about make sure that the receivers are checking, that they're looking over, they're looking at the foot, that the defensive lineman, if you think you're close, back up. Told same crew that we had in Miami, and can explain to those things and say, hey, whether you think you're in the neutral zone, with this particular crew, you probably are, and maybe you lined up the same way for 3 weeks and had a different crew and somebody called it differently. So we talk about those things, but as far as game planning, I don't think that's something that would go into it. More reminders and about play style and things that we have to do and what their mechanics are.
Cyrus Tonga has been instrumental in helping with the run game, stopping the run game this season. Considering you are going up against Bijan this week, just what have you seen from him this season, and just why is that he's so effective?
Well, great teammate. First and foremost, great person. Love being around him. Plays square, plays with his hands, tries to control the blocker, plays with great effort. And so those things usually help you, at the line of scrimmage.
Since defense has been so well this year, was there any hesitation to shake up the roster? I'm sorry? Since things have been going so well with buy-in and just chemistry on the team, was there any hesitation about the idea of shaking up the roster this week?
Well, again, I'll remind you we're 8 games into what we feel like is a program that we want to build, and we have to continue to find ways to improve, figure it and get it right, and that's all we're trying to do, whether that's having success early on in the season or mid-season or after the trade deadline, whatever that may be. I think we just have to continue to take that approach.
How big are the opportunities now for people like Del Pettis and Elijah Ponder? How much are you looking on those guys?
Yeah, I mean, we ask everybody to prepare as a starter, whether they're on the practice squad or they're on the active roster, and I know that those guys have been doing that, and we'll need everybody through this course of the season, so that's important at every position.
Falcons pass rush is near the top of the league in sack rate, time to pressure, blitz rate. I'm curious, who and what have you seen that's made them so effective this season?
Well, they like to send 5 out of base. That's something that they like to do. I think that they're penetrating. I think Onyata has always been a really good player. Being able to just get guys on the edge, being able to get Walker back and seeing where they are, and Harrison with his length inside, he's kind of like a hybrid 4 technique. I think, haven't seen him since he was in high school in Columbus. He's gone from like 200 pounds to now 290, and that's just a unique matchup for an interior defensive lineman that kind of has that skill set, who looks like an outside linebacker but probably rushes inside. So I think that's helped. I think that they just are kind of getting it done by a group. They play a lot of guys, and so by playing a lot of guys, you get their best, I would say, energy. And there's some games and schemes, and other than that, it's usually one-on-one, and guys are winning one-on-one. So that'll put a big premium for us up front when they get us into those 5-down situations.
Like, they're also up there in terms of man coverage that they play. Is that just, again, a staple of this is what we do, this is how we want to play, or do you see that as the teams they face, it's a game plan week to week?
Well, I mean, they do what they do. They have some wrinkles, but they also have corners. Like, you throw it on Terrell, he's going to be really close to his guy. He's going to challenge and compete. And the safeties, obviously, with Bates and his ability. But they put the backers in coverage, and then they all tackle well. It's a good tackling football team. So they don't really give up a lot of big plays because of missed tackles, and they're able to, turn those catches, have some space maybe in the middle of the field into a 15-yard gain as opposed to a 25 or 30-yard gain because of the way they tackle.
Talk about the way Drake handles the demands of that position, like away from the field, that come from the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, from all accounts, I think fairly well. I mean, he's a pretty low-key guy, but you see him in the community, you see him. I think that whatever interest he has outside of football is helping the community and the kids, and he was at the Halloween party last night. He's always involved in the Special Olympics, and so again, I don't really monitor what he does a whole lot, but I know that he's a great representative of this organization.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/one-rate for details. Exclusions apply.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
And now, great moments in history.
By the way, you got to bring your car in
Now.
to get the tires put on, but you can buy them online.
Speaking of
You got to get some of those.
I have Firestones. I thought those were supposed to be good.
Nope.
Well, Bridgestone.
I guess so.
Wrong stone.
Upgrade.
Bridge. Fire. No.
So I got my inspection yesterday.
You got through?
Wait, how late were you?
It's like
That's what Paul
That's not
calls
even bad.
his annual physical.
shady, the shady gas station where
Oh,
like
took care of me.
Yeah, come on in.
Took care of me. Guy even offered me a slice of pizza. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, oil all over it.
No,
Was
I
the
just
check
because
engine
I
light
got
on
out
or
of Felger Maz yesterday, and
Yeah.
my engine light was off. Probably the first
Good time. Good time to strike.
First time in at least 3 weeks. So I said to myself,
Paul treats his car like his body.
I'm trying. No, 'cause I know what the light's on for.
That's another great moment from
All right, back here in Patriots Unfiltered, 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast@patriots.com is the email address.
The update to that story is the light hasn't been off since.
Well, you have to worry about that.
These things
It's
happen.
all computers now. Evan's gone. Deuce has gone to the locker room. He'll be back. Evan will
Get our
not.
weekly Stephon Diggs update with Mike Dussault.
So Vrabel press conference, nothing really big.
Uneventful.
Somebody, I don't know who it was, did kind of put Mike in a little bit of a corner when they're talking about the trades. She said, you mentioned that I don't know when he said it in the summer. You said, you really expect Keon White to be part of, our plans this year and what happened there. And, Vrabel was a little bit, kind of sidestepped the question. But it was a good question to ask.
Absolutely.
Because, definitely things change.
Yeah, and it's a young guy. He's only in his third year. I kind of with you, and you've talked a lot. I've heard you mention this a lot about he wasn't really this or that in college. Like the pass rusher that I think people, I think everybody sort of got blown away by those 4 sacks in the first 2 games last year and thought like this is a 15 sack guy, and I don't really think that's his profile. I push back a lot with Mike and Evan on the safeties when we talked about Peppers and Duggar being on the outs because of the system change and the scheme changes. And I still would stand by that. I don't necessarily believe that they can't operate in the way that they play defense right now. I do, however, agree with the system change not being a good thing for Keon White. I just think he's the classic tweener at 285 or so pounds. He's too big to play the way they want the guys on the edge. I think they brought Milton Williams in, so
Yeah.
there's really no room for him. You're not going to take Milton Williams and Christian
No,
Barmore off the
my
field
ho-
as an interior rusher on passing downs. So where does he fit?
My hope was with Williams and Barmore, the attention they got would help Keon White on the outside.
But who are you taking off the field to put him on?
Well, whenever he was on, and he never earned more spots. Like the limited time he was on, he didn't earn more playing time.
Yeah, I mean, and I also think I don't think he was a problem per se, but I don't think he was the easiest guy.
No.
I think he had something earlier this year. MassLive.com had some quotes. I think the OG Karen Garigian had him. He was playing sparingly. And he made a comment like, "Well, they could put me at corner as long as I'm getting paid."
I think it was safety, but whatever.
And I'll do whatever they ask me to do.
If they're paying me,
as
I'll
long
play
as they're
it.
paying me. So.
I mean,
There's context to everything, but
Yeah.
I can understand if they were like, this guy's probably not long for our program.
Yeah. That was the big news last night. Kyle Duggar and Keon White being traded.
I do think Keon White has some ability. I just think doesn't fit perfectly into a system, and he'll always kind of be, I think, a part-time player because of that.
Yep. All right, but there's now 6 days left before the trading deadline, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if the Patriots are buyers.
Okay.
So far, they've been sellers. Kyle and Pembroke, a little over-under game this week, I'm assuming. May passing yards, 225 and a hay.
That's about the number that we've been doing every week. I'm going to say over.
Okay, me too. May passing touchdowns, 1 and a hay.
I'll say over.
Okay. Robinson, rushing yards, 75 and a hay.
So I'm going to break the mold here. I'm going to say over. I just something worries me about him in this game.
Okay. Pitts receiving yards, 50 and a hay.
I'm going to say under there.
And the over-under total, 45 and a hay.
45 and a half?
Yeah, so
under.
like 22 points each,
Under.
23 points each.
I just had I remembered the score that I've been using all week.
And Kyle predicts the Patriots will win 28-3. Wow.
Oh, I see what he did there.
Yeah.
Falcons 28-3. I don't think you did.
I
don't think you
didn't
did
see that. You know what?
I got you, Kyle.
Shame on me.
I got you, Kyle.
Shame on me. Yep, got you.
Too bad we wasted it without Deuce here.
That
He probably
would be
would have. He
something.
would have exploited your email and made money off of it somehow.
Yeah. I wonder if, without any prompting, if Deuce will pick that as a score this week.
I don't believe he did.
Oh, he did. You already know his score?
Well, we did it Monday for the TV show.
Oh, okay.
And I try. I don't always succeed. I try to pick the same score every time I pick it, but sometimes I forget.
All right.
Sometimes I even change the team I picked to win.
Matt,
I'm a
Pennsylvania. First off, phenomenal argument last week between Evan and everyone else. It's nice now that the team is having some success. There are things you guys can argue about. But my question is, what happened to the Evan has returned from practice song? I'm assuming it has to do with timing. That's exactly what happened.
He doesn't return from practice
right.
anymore.
But that was a great segment and song, and I'd love to hear how was the mood again, if there was any grousing among the media contingent. Well, you know what we'll have to do? We'll have to follow up with Evan the next day.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
just to shoehorn the song into the segment. But
Right.
yeah, that's the problem is practice is now at the end of the show.
Yep.
Not during the show.
All right. Ivan's in California on the hotline. What's up, Ivan?
Hey, gents, how are you?
Good.
Excellent. Paul, I think we're kindred spirits today. First off, with the Chiefs. To me, you've got to be a complete homer and don't know football if you can't plainly see that the Chiefs are, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They are 5-3, and they had two of their top weapons missing most of the season, and now they're starting to cook. So they're going to be the toughest out in the playoffs, full stop. And the fact that anybody else can't see that, I think is, I don't know, to me, you don't have any credibility. So I'm with you on that one. But when it comes to the Pats, Vrabel came in and said, we got to learn first how to beat bad football.
Yep.
Well, as you mentioned, the weakest schedule in the history of football has allowed us to do that. And the reality is a couple things. We've been injury-free. And that's just not going to happen the whole year because it just doesn't. It's football. Secondly, the weather hasn't turned. And we have to prove that we can run the football. And I'm still not convinced with this offensive line that we're going to be able to do that. So I hope that maybe we can pick something up at the deadline. I'm not, holding my breath on that. But reality is we're 6-2. After the last couple of years, I'm just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Ivan.
I agree with a lot of what Ivan just had to say. And I would say, like, I want to fixate on the Patriots part of it because no one cares about the Kansas City part. You're right. That's what Vrabel wanted to do. We want to get in position where we could take advantage of bad football. And I think that's tremendous progress that they've, in such a short period of time, have not found a way to get by against these bad teams. They found a way to exert dominance at times over these teams. Now, it hasn't always been 60 minutes of dominance, but they've been able to beat 3 different teams that are, in my opinion, at the bottom of the league going away. Carolina, Cleveland, and Tennessee.
Yep.
They've been able to take 3 of those teams and win going away. I think that's tremendous progress.
Yep. And
in such a short period of time.
And a little bit more comfortably than we thought they would ever be able to against the Bills.
Oh, no, they played well against
that's part of the streak.
Against Buffalo, but I'm just talking about you want to get in a position to take advantage of bad football.
Yep.
Well, to your point, against Buffalo, that was the difference in winning the game. They took advantage of Buffalo's bad football. 3 turnovers and all those penalties that night for Buffalo did them in, and the Patriots were good enough to take advantage of that.
Yep.
Last year, I don't think they would have won the game despite Buffalo playing that sloppy.
Yep. Boston Cream on the line. What's up, Boston Cream?
Hey, guys, I don't know if Christian in LA's Lululemon suit is a little too tight or he's sucking on the straw of a kale smoothie. There's not enough air going to his brain.
Wow.
Mark in the Bait was a much better heel on this show.
Wow. Ooh,
Christian's a good heel. Yeah, I mean, you got to at least give him that. He's a good show heel.
The fact that you don't like him means he's a good heel.
Yeah, it means he's doing his job.
Oh, dang it. We're seeing a year 2 quarterback take a big leap, much like another quarterback in Patriots history, Drew Bledsoe. How do the 2 sophomore seasons kind of look in comparison? I'm not old enough to have that memory. And what does Drake May need to do to surpass Drew Bledsoe in Paul's mind?
Okay.
Oh, this
is a good one. Thanks, Boston
This
Cream.
run that he's on has surpassed anything Drew Bledsoe ever did. I mean, we're just talking about this 7-game streak.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew was great in 94, but Drew didn't complete. Drew was lucky if he completed 60% of his passes, let alone 75.
Okay. Now
Drew was lucky if he threw more touchdowns than interceptions. I think he threw more picks than touchdowns that year.
What about?
And he threw for 4,500 yards. I'm not. But Drew, what Drake May has done, it's a different game. But what Drake May has done has been more impressive.
What about
than
the
Drew
first
did.
half of the season after Drew left the Patriots? Remember that?
When he went to Buffalo?
And he had
a good year.
He was an MVP candidate that.
He had 2 good years in Buffalo.
Yeah.
03 and 04, he had actually a really good year in Buffalo. But he didn't do this ever. Now, it's a much different game.
Yeah.
It's a much different game with the passing, the way that they do it now. But Drew didn't have this kind of stretch of precise downfield throws that Drake May has had. No way.
Yeah, I just remember that when he left the Patriots, that first half of the year, like he was leading the league in passing. I think he was having an incredible year.
Drew,
then he tailed off.
Drew had his moments, but not consistent like that. I love Drew. You know that. But I try to be objective.
Jack says, does Fred want to reconsider his invitation for Paul to get more engaged? Now that Paul has become engaged, it's like the scene from Clash of the Titans in which Zeus orders, release the Kraken.
He asked me.
Yeah.
This is what you wanted.
Well, all it took was a couple of callers to get you going.
Yeah. So, and it is like my kryptonite, and I know it doesn't speak well of me. You
just don't like fans. Admit it. You don't like fans.
No, I don't like all fans. It's not that I don't like fans. There are plenty that are like Ivan when he just called in. It's like I don't like going from 0 to like last year. I got just as annoyed the other way, Fred. Every game was like, we stink. We're never gonna do it. We can't do that. Like it was such like this.
Right.
Like they were doing something personal to you.
I'm embarrassed.
Yes, that
I'm
like and that bothered me
Oh.
every bit as much.
Tell me about it.
And now all of a sudden you win a game, and then you win another game, and you win 3 in a row, and it bang.
Yeah.
It's like completely flips the script the other way, and now it's like, well, we're back. Like, we've never lost a game. And everybody around the league is like, I can't believe the Patriots after this is great. Like, why can't you just, like, enjoy the ride?
Yep.
Why does everything have to be such extremes?
Yep.
And like I said, the last 2 years, the post-game show, like, people calling in, it's like a personal affront. Every loss was a personal, like, attack on each caller.
Yep.
That wasn't any fun either.
Paul in the Colony has a quick question. Can you explain how the Patriots are able to tear up the final 2 years of Duggar's contract? Well, whatever portion of that contract wasn't guaranteed, now they're not going to have to play.
They did something to tear up the contract. I don't know what they did.
Well, they have to pay some of it, I think.
They're paying some of this year.
Yeah.
But they agreed, the parties agreed, and Duggar had to agree to it in some way, shape, or form, that those last 2 years are gone. He's on a 1-year contract now.
Right.
Duggar. So he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year.
They must have had to pay him something.
Duggar had to do something to agree to that. I don't know exactly. I don't know all the details, but the email is right. That's not a common thing.
Yeah.
And it allowed the Patriots to get some flexibility for 26 and 27.
So they must have just paid him something this year.
They're paying.
Extra.
I don't know if they paid him any extra, but they're paying some of his remaining contract for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what the number. I mean, I've read, like, Rappaport, I think, said they're playing, a good chunk of the deal this year. I keep seeing vague terms like that, like a lot, and big chunk, and until someone actually tells me what it is, I'm a little skeptical of that.
Well,
but I don't know why
So
the
let's
last
just-
2 years of that deal are completely gone now.
Right.
I think Kyle Duggar and his representatives had to agree to something. But you're right. Maybe they gave him a little something extra to agree to that.
Well, can the team he went to give him more, and then the Patriots paid for that, and that was the agreement?
What do you mean? What the?
Like, he goes to the new team, and the new team says, "We're gonna rip up your old contract, right? We're gonna give you a new one." And
But they didn't give him a new one
for this year, and the Patriots are gonna pay that.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think he's just in this year of the contract. Like I don't have the details.
Well,
so
maybe somebody
this
does.
is dangerous.
Maybe somebody does.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody yet. It's like the Marcus Jones contract. It's reportedly it's $36 million in new money, 3 years. But like, is it a 3-year, $36 million deal? So it's not a $36 million guarantee. Because I saw people talking about he got $36 million guaranteed. I don't think that's the case. I haven't seen those numbers yet either.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So I think sometimes with these contracts and these different things, it's best to wait a week or so, let the dust settle, and then someone will report the actual numbers.
But there's no way a player in his right mind is going to say, "Oh yeah, just tear it up. You don't have to pay me anything." So there had to be something.
I would agree with you and that's why I credit the emailer. Like, there's something that's odd, that's out of sort of, out of the ordinary.
Now, like I said, any portion of that contract that wasn't guaranteed is gone.
Yeah, but he had base salaries that were at least partially guaranteed that are gone.
Right.
Somehow.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Usually they accelerate.
Well, no. Like, this year, he's still under contract. I don't think this year was touched. I don't think this year was reduced. Whatever he had partially guaranteed in 26 and 27 has reportedly, I should say, I'm not reporting this. This is what the reports indicate, have been eliminated.
What if his guarantees were roster bonuses?
If it was guaranteed?
I don't know.
Then he gets it.
Not if what if they were roster bonuses for the next 2 years? He doesn't get those, right?
Not unless he gets cut.
Right. So he was.
No.
No. Okay. I don't know. Well, Maybe somebody can tell us.
He would be under contract for Pittsburgh. According to what people are tweeting on the Duggar deal, those 2 years were gone. They're now gone. They no longer exist. Again, this is reported. I am not reporting any of this.
Right.
I don't have any of this information.
That would be history making, the first player in history to say, you don't have to pay me what you owe me. There had to be something done, some manipulation done in order to get this deal. Let's go to Mark in Connecticut. What's up, Mark?
How we doing, guys?
Okay.
Paul, I never get a chance to get a hold of you on the post game. You guys are always too busy.
Yeah. Sometimes we get a little bit bogged down. That's on us. We could do better with that.
No, that's okay. But no, Paul, I wanted to get your take. The kid from the Giants, that edge rusher that might be available, Thibodeau, what's his name?
Yeah, I don't
Thibodeau?
think he's available. I think that's a huge part of the Giants' defense. I think they love that. They have Brian Burns, Keyshawn Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter, the rookie out of Penn State, and I think they love those guys. I mean, again, I don't know that for sure, but
for trade, huh?
Trey Hendrickson is a guy.
Get hit by a train?
Yeah, are you okay, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, no, I that's what I'm looking at, Mark, is exactly what you are. I want an edge rusher. I think Trey Hendrickson could be a possibility. Especially with that Jets win over Cincinnati, that might be enough for Cincinnati to say, well, we ain't going to do it.
But he's old, right, Paul?
He's like 30.
Yeah. The other kid from the Giants, though, is young. So if you can...
That's why the Giants ain't going to trade him.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that would be my guess.
Yep. No, I know Ryan Cowden's got connections there. I know Mike's got connections there. So I figured, you know what, if there's anybody that can pull him away, it might be...
I think that'd be a great move. I would take that in a heartbeat. Absolutely. I like it.
Awesome.
I like it.
Thanks, Paul.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate the call.
So this is just like, I just did a quick Google, and this is what comes up on the AI overview. I don't know.
Oh God.
You're
gonna go with AI now?
Duggar's contract has been reworked as part of his trade to Pittsburgh, wiping out the final 2 years of his original 4-year extension. The Patriots will pay the majority of his remaining $5.4 million base salary for 25 and $1 million in per game bonuses, making him a free agent after this season. So it doesn't indicate any new money there.
No.
It just says it's been reworked. And
torn up and reworked.
So I don't know what the specifics are for that.
Yeah. Okay. Who cares?
No, I'm just...
You know what? I'm not
think
saying that to you. I'm just saying in general. Who cares? You know what?
Yeah, he's Pittsburgh's problem.
Yeah, all these salary things. It's not my money. Who cares?
I'm glad you finally see it my way.
But this next email... Jeff, who calls himself the Southern Patriot, he's in Hickory, North Carolina, with the move in trading Keon yesterday. Is that a foreshadowing and maybe trading for Hendrickson? Bengals aren't going anywhere. That will slam the window on the Bills' fingers. So now that would cost some money, right?
Yeah, whatever the prorated portion of whatever his deal has left. But but they have the money.
No, I know, but they'd have to spend some money to get Hendrickson, and
they have to spend some draft capital, too.
Probably, yeah.
They're not going to just give him away.
Right.
I don't think you're going to swap a 7th-round pick for him.
No. They wouldn't be the Bengals wouldn't be just getting rid of him to get rid of money.
No, he's going to be gone at the end of the year anyway.
Yeah.
So you're better off just keeping him if you're not going to get anything for him.
So let's do it.
I would absolutely
do it.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I meant to look up how old he was. I think he's 30.
Yeah, 30, 31 kind of rings a bell.
Yeah, he's 30.
Yep.
He'll be 31 in December.
Okay.
So I would do that. A rental, 1-year rental for him. No, I'm not giving up a 1st-round pick or anything, but like a mid-round pick.
You'd give a 3rd?
Yeah, maybe. If I had to. I don't know. That seems high.
I think I would. But
yeah, I mean, I think he would really bolster the pass rush, and I think they're really thin beyond Landry and Chason. I don't think they have much there.
Nicholas in Oslo, Norway. Yesterday, you discussed whether Booty was a Pro Bowl receiver or not. In my mind, he's a really good player who does what is asked of him, but he's not a Pro Bowler. He's one of the very best wide receivers in the AFC. Oh, he's not one of the very best in the AFC. My question is whether the Patriots have any players who you think, based on what you've seen so far this season, would merit a Pro Bowl selection other than Drake May. Maybe Marcus Jones as a returner. I think that the fact that the Patriots lack big stars strengthens May's MVP candidacy.
I agree with that last part wholeheartedly. And I think we made mention of I think, was a big part of Josh Allen's candidacy last year. Didn't have a lot around him. I think Marcus Jones, as a returner, absolutely.
What about Milton Williams?
Milton Williams is the guy that I would bring up first. I don't know, I don't know how he stacks up, statistically to those other guys, like Jeffrey Simmons and Chris Jones. Those are the interior guys that, I don't know all those different guys. But, Milton Williams, Gonzalez is always, I think, I think he's considered one of the better corners in the league now. So I think he's always going to be in that mix.
The coaches and players
with Surtain and Stingley and those kinds of guys. But he's right. They don't have a lot of guys that stand out.
Back from the locker room, what was the mood? Were the players friendly? Too bad none of them looked like Derrick Henry. Hey Mike, what was it like in the locker room? Hey Mike, what was it like?
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Mike.
I'm back.
How you doing?
It was good. It's
How
busy.
was it?
Oh, it was busy. It was busy today. A lot of media.
It's always been busy
I mean,
lately,
it's just
right?
picking up. And, of course, Stephon Diggs always goes on Wednesday, so we had a big media contingent crowding around his locker. And me and Cassidy, the camera person I was with, were like, man, he's not going to like this, But he was a good sport about it. He weaved his way in. And I thought an interesting takeaway, though, a couple things were he said he gave the game ball for his first touchdown to the training staff who helped him get back on the field.
Oh.
And so that was a nice thing. And then another funny question they asked him about the Josh mic'd up thing that we talked about, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't know he was mic'd up." So I think that's it's not like an unwritten rule in football. You gotta do one of these. So you gotta say, "Hey, I'm mic'd up."
Yeah.
But no, good stuff from Diggs at all, talking about being a leader, and again, he's a veteran coming in here. And then we talked to Marcus Jones as well. Excited about the deal. Didn't realize he didn't have an agent. He's the one who said he negotiated the contract himself, which is always interesting. But excited to be here, excited to stick with New England. This is where he said he wanted to be. And lastly, we talked to Christian Gonzalez, who, happy for Marcus Jones. And, it felt, sad to see Keon White and Duggar go, but excited for them to get a new start. And I guess there was a report today that Drake London's back at practice. So he's looking forward to facing him. I guess they did go against each other in college a little bit. I think it must have been back when Gonzalez was at Colorado. But said, we're different players now. I was a sophomore. We were younger. He said he got me on a couple. I got him on a couple. So something maybe to look back at. But it seems like if London's going to play, it's probably a really good thing for the Falcons.
So players were asked about Duggar and White.
A little bit, and it's just, what are you going to do? That's the biz. And
happy, hope they do well.
Yeah, and Diggs saying, we got plenty on our plate to deal with, but, wishing those guys the best. So, back in shells, and it looks like it's getting a little cold out there. You're seeing guys start to bundle up. You can just, you just feel the season kind of going by. And I don't know if it's the fact that they're winning, but I think just everybody you seem to talk to is like, my God, it's already week 9. Like, it just seems like it's really going by fast.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, I guess so. You guys know more about that than me, but it feels like usually, the 4-win seasons, this is about when it starts to grind to a halt, and you're like, oh my God.
Mike's career has been a slog.
We started on 2019, we're like a little taste of Brady, the playoffs.
Sick of 12-4.
I know. I want to get back to those 13 wins seasons, Fred.
Yeah.
That's what we got to get.
You might get one.
That's what I want. So it's good. But good vibes, and just packed. Just continues to
be a lot. Anyone notable?
Couple new faces.
There is a new guy who I think is somewhat notable. Evidently, they signed a guy to the practice squad, running back Dearness Johnson. He's a guy who's had some.
I was talking about the media.
NFL.
I don't care about the players.
Oh, sorry.
There are some familiar faces. It's hard to tell where they're from, though, unless you scope out their badges or their day passes. But certainly is increased, and it's a lot more the vibe of 2019 when I got here, when it was like oh, Brady, oh, Edelman, let's go to Hightower, and you're hopping kind of from scrum to scrum around star player. And, now that's kind of coming back. You go to Stephon Diggs, you go to Marcus Jones, you go to Christian Gonzalez, you're starting to feel the talent and, just the desire for people to hear from these guys and ask them questions. So it's good.
All right. And our weekly Eye on Evans segment brought to us by Sonny's Car Wash.
Where was Evan today? He's in there. I kept catching eyes. Now, granted,
Wow.
I got to say,
he's lost in the scrum.
In my defense, I was buried in the Diggs scrum, and it took him a while to get out there. So I wasn't able to clock Evan like I usually am, where I say, oh, he's sidling up to some random player
tag on his phone or something.
track him. But no, he was in there floating around. He has his sidles up, has his little conversations, and get some insight onto the finer points of the X's and O's.
Yeah.
I think he prefaces a lot of when like, this might be a dumb question, but the guys that I've seen at least are always,
But I think I'm a little worried because, like, for the second day in a row, I think he left the show a little bit, upset.
I think he was good.
I didn't think he was upset today.
No,
what was he upset
I don't
at?
think he likes arguing.
No, I think I thought he was good today. I mean, we got a lot of X's and O talk. I mean, it was at the expense of Paul participating.
No, I shared off the air with Fred that Evan has made a goal of not arguing with Fred anymore.
Oh, he's starting to realize that Fred's like a master manipulator.
And it lasted exactly 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the show. We got an argument with Fred.
But the way I take it from Evan is like, it's not even worth arguing with Fred because he knows nothing.
So that's not how I took it.
Right. Exactly.
So I can't have a fair argument with him or I'm going to get fired.
It's so funny you bring that up, though, because as soon as the PFF, and Fred was kind of like, what's with the PFF? Like, he kind of did one of those, and I could just feel Evan all that, like, what's wrong with the PFF? Like, what, Fred?
We could do shows. Right. I could go on rants for shows, but I'm not going to do that.
I mean, we already had our discussion.
So are we
about
done
that.
with the whole locker room breakdown? Because I find it interesting. That's 3 running backs signed to the practice squad.
Yeah. Well, one got moved to practice squad IR yesterday.
Oh,
and
did he?
then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of them.
So still 2. And Dearness Johnson is the kind of running back that I sort of. He wasn't one of the, we were talking about Jerome Ford. Just an NFL player, not a star, just a guy who's been
Browns a little
bit. He was on the Browns. I think he was on the Titans. I think he's been on the Cardinals. So he's been around. He's not going to move the needle, but that's a veteran running back that gives you a little bit of a layer of depth.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy who's carried the ball in the NFL before and can. Be on the practice squad, and if it works out, it works out. If he's got nothing left or whatever, you move on. Maybe he's gone in a day or two. But
then you go home.
Yeah.
I think there's another guy. So maybe edge rusher, Mike.
All right, a couple quick calls. We'll wrap up the show.
I'm landing on edge rusher.
Jerry's in L.A. What's up, Jerry?
Hello, Jerry.
Yeah, how's it going? How you guys been?
Hey.
I just wanted to ask, what is a trade? What is a trade that you think this team needs? To get a bit better, and then what's a trade that you guys would like to see, no matter the draft capital that we have to give up?
We just talked about it, Trey Hendrickson. I mean,
that's my guy.
I'm willing to give a third for him and then pay him, the rest of his money. So that's my guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you do that, and somebody mentioned you do that, and this window is firmly slammed shut on the Bills' fingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Jerry.
I mean, I'd throw Thibodeau.
Why does well, you just had a call from Mark in Connecticut who said the same thing. Why are the Giants trading him?
Because they have 3 edge rushers. They paid 3 guys. And
really good
they
players.
Move
Well, they didn't pay. One of them's a rookie.
Right.
They haven't paid him.
But I don't know. That's why.
And actually, 2 of them are on
really
rookie contracts. It sounds like ideal to me. Like I have 3 studs at this position. And this is the centerpiece of my defense. But I don't know. Everybody else is with you, Mike.
Thomas is in L.A. Hey, Thomas.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Okay.
Hey, so I have a prediction. I believe that the Patriots are going to trade for Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Who wrote this? Who started this?
Someone started it. Someone clearly started it. But if the Giants
Paul doesn't agree.
Huh?
But I just have a feeling. And it would be great because I'm from L.A. I'm going to make my trip out to Boston for the Giants game. I have a feeling that he'll be on the Patriots when I'm at that game.
I think that would be great.
I wouldn't question
I think that would be great. I think it would be perfect for what they need. They need some juice on the edge.
Thanks, Thomas.
I like Thibodeau.
I mean, it's a
would
little bit of
absolutely do that.
a fantasy, I would say, of like, wow, that would be a real great slam
the
dunk
fact
for a
that
young
the Giants
player.
are on our schedule, does that
Yeah.
decrease the odds of that happening?
No.
No?
No, and I mean, I think if I was the Giants, though, and I'm going to give up that piece, I want something significant.
So what
back,
do you
know?
think you would have to give up for him?
I mean, maybe a second, maybe
Second
Is
or
that
third?
Crazy?
Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if it would cost you that much. I think it kind of always costs a little less than you think.
Yeah.
But I would do it. My only thing was just the Giants seem like they have a little something going.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's fair.
Why wouldn't he
Totally.
be part of their future?
Yeah.
Because he's young.
Yep.
Still on his rookie contract.
Yeah. I'd just say, too, the connection. Shoot, I'm going to blank on the defensive coordinator for the Giants' last name, but he was Vrabel's defensive coordinator too. So you think maybe there's some crossover there in terms of philosophy and scheme and stuff. But I think he's kind of the pipe dream. I mean, Trey Hendrickson as an older player, that's usually the kind of guys that get traded. You know, a guy who, I don't know, Thibodeau's probably like 26. I mean, he's still like young in his prime. Might be a bit of a pipe dream, but that's why we like to speculate.
All right. That's going to be it for
Thibodeau, bring him.
This edition of Patriots Unfiltered. We'll be back tomorrow on Thursday with our final show of the week. We'll do our picks. And until then, thanks for watching today.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.